In today's episode, we talk about the smash hit Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. This band helped shape British new wave pop with a new, different sound and accompanying music video. Get on your overalls and join us as we talk about our love for this 80s style and, of course, Aaron's ongoing love for Dave Matthews Band.
Welcome to Wonders and Blunders. I'm Aaron. As always, I'm here with wonderful Lori.
Hello, I'm wonderful Lori.
That's her name.
That's what I'm going by now, from now on, I
Yes,
think.
wonderful
is
Lori.
Wonderful Lori.
Yes.
So that's what I'd like to be referred to as. Thoughts on new wave pop?
I mean, it depends on where new wave is. If you were like
1980s new wave pop.
I feel like that's the birthplace of new wave pop. If you heard that, that was our dog.
She loves it. She loves 1980s new wave pop. It makes her shake.
Just thwapping all over the place.
Where you would be like, come on, Sophie, right?
But today, we're talking about Come On Eileen.
See what we did there.
We're fucking geniuses. So, yes, Come On Eileen, Dexy's Midnight Runners. We are talking about a 1982 smash hit from the album To Riley. I don't know what that means.
Oh, all right. So, Dexy's Midnight Runners, British new wave pop band from Birmingham, England.
Yeah.
They formed in 1978, which I hear is a good year. I don't know. I wasn't around at the time. I can't talk a whole lot about it.
I feel like nothing happened in 78.
Well, these guys happened, so that was something that was good. They did have some hits in 79 and 80, mostly in the UK, and then they had their biggest hit, Come On Eileen, in 1982.
Yeah.
I don't think that it has the same. I think I'm saying it too aggressive.
You are, yeah. I feel like that would go from
more loving and mine was angry.
You brought it from top of the charts to a police investigation.
Yeah. People are calling for a domestic.
Yeah. I don't know. He was running during midnight and he was yelling at me.
Come on, Eileen.
So there's a twofold thing I have here.
Oh,
Number one, I mean, other than country music, I mean, this is probably one of the predecessors to Dave Matthews Band having a violin in pop music.
God, you love Dave Matthews Band so much. Any chance you get to bring up the Dave Matthews Band. I'm not arguing. They're
Number
great,
one.
but you
love
that.
For those who have listened to this podcast, the one. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Dar, thanks.
This is the first time I've mentioned it, and it was for a substantial reason. Anyway, and it wasn't just a studio guy saying or a producer saying, hey, I think a violin would sound good. An actual member of the band plays violin as well as banjo and accordion. So
yeah, they put a lot of thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're going to talk about it more musically, but they did have a lot of thought behind the song.
Second fold.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, we forgot.
Double fold. Mm-hmm. Do you think they ran into like a Hootie and the Blowfish situation? Like no one in the band is named Dexy. So you think that it was like, Dexy, hey, Dexy, you know? And he was like, no, that's the name of the band. Kind of like how Darius Rucker is with Hootie.
Oh, you think that people were calling...
The lead singer probably Dexy. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to say yeah, probably.
Sure.
I would.
I'm disappointed that Darius Rucker's name isn't Hootie.
I sure as hell thought it was for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's something
Yeah.
to consider.
Just saying. I'm just trying to cover all
The
angles
thought
here.
actually never crossed my mind, but maybe. I mean, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, that probably happened a couple times. Throwing some numbers out there.
Give me 'em.
Come On Eileen reached number 1 in the US and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best British single in 1993.
Yeah.
It ranked number 18 on VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of the 80s. I heart this song so hard. Yeah. I think I might have put it in my top 10, but I do think it's awesome that it was on that list.
Yeah, it is an earworm for sure, but it is so... it's so... Because we called it, what, new wave pop? Is that kind of what we...
Yeah.
Yeah, but every aspect of it falls remarkably into like folk music. I mean, there's no synthesizers anywhere in the song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's harmonica, there's violin.
There's the good old squeeze box.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so out of the 80s where Britain was blowing it up, I mean, annihilating new wave everywhere. This song actually was voted by the British public as the nation's 6th favorite 1980s number 1 hit. Mm-hmm. That is insanity. Do you know what kind of competition they came up with? Like Duran Duran, Bowie, other bands.
Others that may have been around.
We all know. Yeah. So the genre that this gets posted under is new wave, Celtic folk, pop, and blue-eyed soul. What other blue-eyed soul person do we know who came out of Britain?
I know none. If this is a quiz, I don't have an answer.
David Bowie.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to say Dave Matthews Band again.
They're not even British.
No, I thought you were trying to find another reason to mention your lover.
Jesus Christ. My lover? God. This is my fiance talking.
I am not ashamed. Okay, so before we get into like the down and dirty of the music and why it worked musically, I wanted to talk about the video a little bit because I think the video is different as well.
Yeah.
So the music video and the album cover, there is a person that is portraying Eileen. Eileen isn't actually a real person, but the person who is portraying her is sister of Siobhan Fahey, the founder of Bananarama. So it's her sister that is playing Eileen.
How much do you want to bet they maybe were signed to the same label? We'll look on that. We'll get back to you, public, on that.
I'm not sure.
But I will tell you, looking at this album cover, I'm guessing they took this picture almost directly from the video.
Yeah, I would guess so. It's very much the overalls that you see in the video. Yeah. It's the guy and our fictional Eileen in the album cover. The video was filmed in South London because Kevin Rowland, who wrote the song, he wanted it to have a feel of what it was like where he grew up. And in the song, they talk about, there's a line about poor old Johnny Ray. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Ray is a actual singer. Mm-hmm. I had to look up who he was because I didn't
rockabilly,
know.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was an American singer, songwriter, and pianist.
Hey, this is a family show. Oh, pianist.
Yeah, okay. He was really popular in the 50s. Mm-hmm. So why is he in the song? Well, Roland heard about Johnny crying on stage, and it really intrigued him. So he wanted to work that into his song.
Gotcha.
So there's a mention of Johnny Ray, and the only reason I bring this up is because in the video, there's actual footage of Johnny, who is arriving in London in 1954. So they kind of tried to tie that into it, which was cool.
Interesting. So it's like a Johnny Ray American came in 54 and influenced Londoners. And the Beatles came over in 64 and influenced Americans.
Oh, the melting pot of the world.
God, that's insane. So yes, if you didn't catch that, Lori did say that Kevin Rowland was the lead singer. I will say in my opinion, one of the more unique voices that was out there in the 80s. Crazy vibrato. Very hard to sing along if you sing this in karaoke. You're in a world
Well, I mean,
full
if you
of
want to
trouble.
sound good, probably.
Very, very
if you
true.
don't
Yeah,
care at all, sing
yeah.
your heart out. So the song is actually based on a true story that Kevin, again, the lead singer, wrote the song. He fell in love with a girl. I found some varying facts. Some stories said the girl's name was actually Eileen. Other stories said the girl's name was actually Jeanette. Not sure what her real name was, but the fictional character is Eileen. They fell in love. Again, these facts varied. Some people said they fell in love when they were 13. Other stories said they fell in love when they were 16, but they did have a relationship that lasted for about 2 years. And that's kind of where the song came from. He was actually writing about his love at the time.
Interesting. So, speaking of the video, I think we can all agree there's a very common theme throughout the video.
Overalls.
Denim overalls, yes. Yeah. A very Lady in the Trampy kind of feel, like they were all little...
eating noodles outside of a restaurant.
A little more streetwise, if you get my drift. Maybe not homeless, but you know they were street savvy people. Did you get that vibe?
No, I didn't.
What vibe did you get?
I just kind of felt like it was people that were wearing overalls and they wanted to like dance around and sing about their love. I didn't get a feeling whether or not they lived on the street.
Maybe I looked way too deep into this.
Yeah. I maybe just looked at it more surface level.
I got kind of all we have is us in this world thing because we don't have a lot of other possessions type of thing.
Come on, Aaron.
Come on, Eileen. Come on. Yeah. So, certifications and sales, if you want to know, where do you think they went gold first?
What location?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to guess something crazy like the United Kingdom.
No, Canada.
Oh,
okay. Sorry.
To the north.
I don't know if they probably went gold first in the UK, but the only certifications that they have is gold in Canada.
Sweet.
And then platinum in the UK. So they went all the way up to platinum. So technically you're probably right. But US is not on there, but let's give a breakdown of the charts. So this is from 82 to 83. Australia, its peak position was number 1. Austria, number 9. Belgium, 1. Canada top singles, if you can tell they went gold there, so they reached number 2. France, number 5. Germany, number 6. Ireland, number 1. Netherlands, 4. New Zealand, number 1. South Africa, number 1. And the UK singles, number 1. So the US Billboard Adult Contemporary, 31. So, I mean, adult contemporary, don't know if it really falls in that, totally in that genre, but US Billboard Hot 100, number 1. US Billboard Top Tracks, number 6. And whatever the US cash box is, they got number 1.
Cool. Yeah, so I think it really goes to show that the song worked on a lot of different levels to be able to hit like that many charts. And some other things that were interesting when you think about a song and it being successful from a marketing standpoint is was the song picked up anywhere, or was it played a lot somewhere that, again, would drive an audience to want to go search that song out?
Yeah.
So the song came out in 83. It's actually on the soundtrack for Tommy Boy, which is an amazing movie. For the other listener that's not Aaron's mom, if you're younger and haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's a 1995 movie with Chris Farley and David Spade. So good. And then later on, years later, so this wouldn't have affected its time on the charts, but it just goes to show you how long the song lives on. It was also on the soundtrack for The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was a hit movie in 2012.
Was Paul Rudd in that movie?
I don't know. I believe that Hermione, what is her real name, from Harry Potter?
Oh.
Yeah.
Emma Watson.
Yes. I believe she's in that movie.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it's a great film. So that's all I can really say.
Some say she was conceived to this song.
Did you and Dave Matthews probably think that?
What she doesn't know is I'm editing all of this out of this podcast. All you're going to hear is me talking, Lori go, and then you're not going to hear anything else.
That sounds believable. So before we talk a little bit more about why it worked from a marketing standpoint, you want to hit us with what happened musically and why that worked?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, upon first listen, the structure of the song is great because, like any great one-hit wonder or any great song, if you know what it is with the first second of the song playing, that it's somebody did something fantastic. Right when it hits, the violins come in, you know exactly what's happening. So, as I mentioned, all of this was in-house. None of it was a high-level record producer saying, oh, we got to add this and this and this. They actually had all of these instruments in-house. So we had multiple fiddle players, trombone, saxophone, accordion, multiple background vocals. So I think one of my favorite parts musically of the song is the very end of the song. You have this little breakdown, and then all of a sudden the drums kick in, and it goes into high speed, and it's fantastic. It's a great ending to a song. I think that it doesn't disappoint in emotion or anything. I mean, when you can, get a whole bunch of people singing words they have no idea what they are, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know when I was looking into this song, I had seen an article where Kevin Rowland was talking really specifically about when they wrote the song, they wanted it to have a very specific feel. Like everything was very deliberate. Mm-hmm. They didn't want it to have any kind of like synthesizer. They wanted it to be mirrored after some of their favorite songs. They wanted to take some of that and like build onto it. So that's why when you listen to it, it's layered a little bit, where like some parts sound like maybe like a certain era, and then you move on to another part where there's more of like the fiddle and stuff like that, and it sounds like another kind of song genre, which was kind of cool to me. Sure.
You show me one other song in the 80s that deliberately had a few second breakdown that was just a banjo solo. I mean, I would be hard pressed to think this isn't this singular representation of it. And it wasn't even in a campy, jokey way. I mean, songs like, like Cotton Eye Joe, for instance, which is kind of a mockery of kind of that folky, banjo-y kind of thing, This was not that. I mean, never once anything that they did, the harmonica, the accordion, the fiddles, it was very deliberate and it worked musically. Never once did, at least in my viewpoint, that I take it as it was, tongue-in-cheek musically, that they were putting it in to be campy.
Yeah, it was never trying to be something that it wasn't. Like, it wasn't trying to be something different than what they wanted it to be. It wasn't trying to fit into some kind of trend that was happening.
And it didn't seem like they were... Yes, and it didn't seem like they were just a regular band who was like, hey, I like the accordion, I like the fiddle. Let's plug this into this song because we heard an artist one time. It seemed like this was a part of their makeup as a band, and it didn't seem out of place at all.
Yeah. So from a marketing standpoint, why did this song work, you ask me?
Yeah, why?
So really, the song arrives on the scene at really the perfect timing because it happened when MTV still played music videos. And again, if you're not Aaron's mom and you're our other listener, MTV was a channel that started in the very early 80s, maybe late 70s, that's was devoted to playing music videos on TV. So it got a lot of airplay on MTV, and I think that helped to really boost it because then more people were hearing it. And like we mentioned, it was a different sound, especially in the US, to what was happening. It was different than what was popular at the time here. To give you an example, it knocked Michael Jackson's Billie Jean out of the top number 1 spot in the chart. So it just goes to show you have Billie Jean and then you have Come On Eileen. Rhyming, but such different sounding songs. And I think Come On Eileen came in and people were just like, wow, this is such a different song from what we've been hearing. And I think people thought it was enjoyable with the help of MTV.
I think, out of everything that was happening in the 80s, I mean, the 80s were remarkable musically. I mean, I am a child of the 80s, so, I mean, it was very remarkable. But to have a band who purposely kind of was neglectful of the synth sound and what was happening and went completely the other way. And I mean, it was really refreshing, Yeah, great song. Fantastic song.
So worked from a marketing standpoint that it was different, and MTV really, I really think that MTV pushed it to what it was because people were seeing the video all the time, and the video was something different as well.
Yeah, I think, again, kind of to touch on a little bit of the music aspect of it, it's a very strange song structure. It's the format of it, obviously, verse, chorus, but the chorus is this kind of weird pseudo call and response thing, which, come on, I can't sing a lot because we can't, we don't want to get fined or have to pay money. So I'm just going to mumble.
You guys can check out the video in a link later.
You guys will know what I'm saying, but, and then it's another part. I mean, it's very unique in the way that structure was built for the chorus. And to be honest, I don't know if I've seen anything like that before that. I think it was genius. Big fan for sure.
Okay, so if we're ranking this song here, and I'm gonna do my unique ranking that I like to do at the end of every song. So the theme really of this video is overalls. So from no hooked overalls at all, where you're just showing everything you got in the front, to 2 whole hooked people. Hooked. I got way too excited. Okay. Overalls. The 2 hooks are great. The no hook with everything flapping in the wind is you did not care for it. 1 hook was, okay.
But 1 hook was kind of hip, and that was kind of hip.
Okay, that's my scale. No hooks, you didn't like it. 1 hook, you were okay. 2 hooks, I got so excited you were fucked.
Dude, I'm gonna give this 2 full hooks plus whatever else they could do.
And they threw on like a belt.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great song. I mean, I am a vocalist by nature and nurture. And the vocal lines are just phenomenal. I mean, this was absolute opposite of what would be a big studio manufactured song for sure. I mean, these guys were great. They, I don't think anybody in the 80s were sitting around like, you know what, I need more violin and accordion. And they didn't give a shit. They did what they did, and it turned out to be one of the best singles out of the 80s. And in my opinion, one of the most unique one-hit wonders in my lifetime. I'm going to go ahead and say it. So
2 full hooks.
2 full hooks. But for the sake of the show and the namesake of the show, I'm going to go ahead and this is Falling Full Wonder for me.
Okay, so that wasn't the ranking that I asked you for.
I gave you 2 full hooks.
From a marketing standpoint, this is full on overalls, people. Like, the song totally worked. And really, like, I don't think they did anything too crazy. I think the song was really good. They got it on MTV. They let it be on a soundtrack that was a few years later. I think it just really worked for them. And from what I can see, it doesn't look like they had to try too hard to make it a machine. No,
I would agree. And one of the biggest things that if you notice, if you were to take a metronome and play it with the song, this is super genius. And, anybody who's played live before on stage knows that it is a huge chance that by the end of the song, you're playing about 2 times faster than when you started. Just what happens. It's, you get excited. The drummer starts playing quicker. You start playing quicker. And then all of a sudden you end the song in a much faster tempo than when you started the song. They did this actually on purpose with Come On Eileen. It started off a little slower. And by the end, we're talking, you're going 3 times faster, which is
probably the cocaine.
The overalls. But it's amazing. I mean, that is what would happen in a live setting. So really what they were doing was giving this live kind of experience in a studio recorded song. Fantastic.
Yeah, I gave my rating. I think it's great. Full overalls. I don't have anything else. It's so good.
So it's a wonder to you and not a blunder.
Right. It's 2 full clasps.
She's so against just the status quo, people.
It was great. I don't have anything else to add other than if you listen to this and you're not sure what the song is, you should absolutely go seek it out. If you're listening to this and you know what the song is, you should still go listen to the song because it's such a great song. Yeah. I feel like it's going to make you have a better day.
I would agree with you. And as always, we will link the video to the song below. And please like and subscribe. And if you have any songs you'd like to hear, please comment or email us. Thanks so much. And we'll see you again next time.